Alright, shalom, shalom. Giving all praises, all glories, and all honors unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua Mashiach. Double honors to the elders out in Great Millstone, and shalom to all you sincere Akim brothers out there pushing the gospel at hand, on all these prophecies to feed the sheep, risking your lives in the midst of that. Alright? And this is your brother Kodash Poya. And in this lesson, I just want to get into how we had this whole vaccine thing going on that is mandatory. You had about 3 other brothers that brought that out, and I wanted to make a point on how it's problem reaction solution, right? This whole government, the because the scientists and um the whole medical industry, they work hand in hand with these higher elites, these secret societies, and when, what, and where to push certain you know you know quote unquote viruses or whatever, because we know that Ebola was staged. The news outlets work for this too, so they're all cohesive with each other. They all lay in bed with each other, right? So that's why we got to be circumspect in what we are getting our sources from, because certain things are just fear tactics. So just so they can pass laws and things of that nature. But you just recently had, and I'm gonna get this real quick, get a couple scriptures out. Blacklisted news, right? Vaccine mandatory for everyone, everywhere. A globally coordinated agenda, right? So, now, it goes into interconnected um, global network. But I'm not going to read the whole article. You brothers could get into it. There was other brothers that brought it out. The title speaks for itself right here. It was recently published. But yeah, man, we knew that this been the goal when even Bill Gates was promoting this on stage and giving percentages of depopulation, and it's all a part of Agenda 21, right? So there's always an agenda. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, boom. Let's get that word real quick. A list of items to discuss in a formal meeting. Right, you had meetings, you had the Bilderberg meetings, you had G20 summits, you had, and who are conducting all these meetings and for what, right? But you have right here, and it's not a coincidence that now, this was published, right? Vaccines mandates for everyone, everywhere, a globally coordinated agenda on September 19th. And then you had RT News, where you had, this was a day ago, actually. It says, did a gene modified mosquito apocalypse plan backfire in Brazil? Study says yes, company says no. Studies say yes, but companies says no. You see the difference there, because there's been actual occurrences of people getting blood clots in their brains and dying off of this. Genetically engineered bugs. I mean, that's madness. You have another article where it says 2 more die of mosquito-borne EEE virus. I forget the name of the actual virus, but I think it says it in here. It says in Michigan, as cases of the disease that kills 30% of victims reach unprecedented levels in the US, right? So it's not a coincidence that even Dabu7, you can follow his channel. That guy's always, he brings out some edifying information. And yeah, he brought that up like 3 days ago about this matter, right? And this is major pestilence. You do this to one bug, it'll transfer. There's a name for that. I forgot, but it basically transfers and goes to different animals, and then people eat these animals, right? And then they sell them in the market. So you have to understand that this can travel in a blink of an eye. But that's scriptural, man, and you're just showing that we're getting closer and closer by these major things that's going on. But let's get a scripture real quick. This is 2 Corinthians 2:11. It says, "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." And we're not ignorant of, Satan's devices. And what that means is, the elect that's meditating in the scriptures are not ignorant of what Esau, the so-called white man, all his, devices that he's using for his agendas for the mass population. We understand, problem, reaction, solution, right? Agenda 21, to depopulate, you even got that in the Georgia Guidestones, right? But we're also dealing with the spiritual Satan as well, because all this is all just sorcery and witchcraft and things of that nature, right? Now, even with these news broadcasts and certain articles, remember, these are certain enchantments that make you think certain otherwise. So that's why you have to be careful of what what you're feeding into your conscience. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 5, verse 15. It says, "Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or a small." So we have to, as watchmen, as reading in the scriptures and being spiritual men, we have to understand that everything is spiritual. Everything is dealt in different type of frequencies, if you will, right? So knowing that the prophecies speak about these things, we see that, Job, the 24th chapter, "Do they not know him, not see his days?" We see the times that we're living in, and everything is just escalating to signs in the skies of, UFOs sightings appearing more and more, which, the biblical terms is what chariots and the angels of the Most High, not green men. Brothers say IFOs, but just with that alone, just the sightings more and more, with major earthquakes and the wars that's going on, taking place, staged in the Middle East, and just all this going on all at once, the damn blue coats, the UN troops that's being exercised, and all these military parades, and it's just, it's a lot, but that's part of being a watchman. A watchman, a prophet, a seer, right? So we have to let you people know that are not aware of what's going on, that it's all scriptural at the end of the day. Now, this is the book of Luke 21:11. It says, "And great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines." Yeah, and famines. Because you see a lot of farms and different lands and crops being destroyed, which, rises up the prices of food and gas and corn and things of that nature, which is major necessities that they use. But remember, you got the Brazil fire that happened over there. You got to think about it. You got to understand what export and when you get shipments, different vegetables and fruits. America gets that from what? North, down, South America, and even in LA. Now we know in LA there's this whole weird like just the crops being destroyed, many wildfires and radiation from the rain, things of that nature over there that's destroying the fruits and vegetables, and all these animals just died, and it's with with these hurricanes and things like that. You just gotta understand that this is all like a chess game, you know, which is all conducted and orchestrated by the Most High. But he also uses Esau, the so-called white man, which rules the elites, the governments of this world today. Job 9 and 24. They have these machines where they can manipulate and modify the weather to their own benefit, right? Which is something called a HARP program. And, so just got to be aware. It says, and pestilences and fearful sights and great signs shall there be from heaven. Yeah, so like I mentioned, fearful sights. People see these signs in the heavens, and you know, it's just is just something that hasn't happened in a high scale in time past. So we know for sure that we're just getting closer and closer, for the second coming of the Son of Man. And before that happens, all these prophecies, has to be fulfilled. So I hope this video was edifying. Until next time, I'm going to say shalom.